platform company for us is to see the builders who go about taking any platform shift and making it their own, right? Bringing their creativity, their entrepreneurial energy to it is just super to see. So I want to talk about how, as builders, we're moving the frontier. At the end of the day, when you think about it, for us, it always starts about empowering every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. That's why we build. And that means we're moving the frontier of outcomes for those individuals or those organizations, right? We're not building for building's sake. We're building to have impact. Ultimately, it's about like the customer experience that's changed, the employee experience that's changed, the operational efficiency that we are able to bring to any institution, the innovation ramp itself, right? So any place where you're able to move the needle on how fast can you innovate. That's ultimately the measure of any technology. And to us, to go about doing it, one of the most exciting things, quite frankly, is the change in the approach to how we build these systems. Perhaps unlike any previous period of software, this one requires a rethink in even the life cycle of how we build, right? I mean, think about it. We start not with sort of the spec itself, right? You start on the other end by thinking about the eval loop, right? So in some sense, you start with the test, not the spec, is how I sometimes think about it. It inverts the entire process, and that requires your mindset shift, right? So you kind of have to be a lot more grounded in the real world outcome that you want to change. What's the world, the rubric, the job, the task, the eval? That's kind of where you first go, right? And then you back into it the rest of the workflow. So to me, mindset shift, even for developers, is going to be important. Obviously, we need to pick up all these skills that we need in order to be able to impact that mindset shift, right? We need a tool chain that works with us in order to go then build these solutions. And data, it becomes, when we talk about context engineering, it's a little bit of good old data engineering, but it's a different type of data engineering where you want to get your data into the shape that allows you to then feed it to the intelligence and then really orchestrate around it. So that's a bit of how I think we need even a new way to think about the frontier of the classic SDLC has to change to a new form of AI-driven SDLC. And I think that that's going to be pretty critical. Now, to that end, what we're doing at Microsoft is just building out a full stack to help get leverage on it. The first thing is, at the experience layer, can we put this stateful Copilot experience across all of what you use every day, right? Whether you're using the Copilot app itself, or you're in Excel, or you're in Word, or you're in Outlook, or Teams, or what have you, can we bring essentially this ability for you to interact with an agentic system, starting with conversation, request, response, but going fully agentic. In other words, assign tasks. And come back and inspect the output and discover other agents, not just one agent, but many agents can be discovered in any one of these experiences, right? So building out this experience layer. And that's what we have done, and it's great to see. Like if I look at even my everyday experience, right, it's no longer just a chat-centric experience. When I look at something like Researcher, and Researcher with Kua, it's like having a researcher that you assign tasks to and letting them go off and really do deep research for me and computer use as just another tool, right? So that's what Researcher is. Analyst is like having a data analyst with you all the time, right? So you can upload or point it to a OneDrive full of Excel spreadsheets and say, hey, just give me insight, right? I mean, that's my favorite query, is to just put dump a bunch of spreadsheets and just ask it questions, starting with the blank question saying, please give me insight, right? I mean, it's just liberating that you can now do that. And then, of course, the agent mode in Excel. I think the next big favorite thing that all of us are going to be vibing with is this agent. It's crazy. I did this digital challenge at the Excel Championship. I mean, to watch as someone who has worked on Excel for all my life, this was so cool to be able to see the agent mode understand natively all of Office JS, every object of Excel, to be able to do that fine-grained manipulation. So anyway, so I'm really excited about these agents that are now very much part of the Copilot experience. Today, I mean, there's great momentum in this country in terms of these applications getting deployed deeply. I'm very, very excited, in fact, of the announcement this week and today with all of Cognizant and Infosys and TCS and Wipro, where they're deploying this at scale over 50,000. Yeah. Deploying this at scale over 50,000. Yeah. So the thing that I love about it is not only are they just building out this and deploying Copilot everywhere, but they're building deep agent factories, AI factories, which then integrate into this experience, right? So it's not about, think about any one of them being able to transform our collective clients. They're able to then take the experience layer, have it meet the agents that get built for every task, every job, every role, every business process. That's the opportunity that we have, and I'm really excited to see all of this. So just to show you a little bit of what we've been up to on the Copilot side, let me introduce my colleague Zoe. Zoe, come on up.
Thanks, Satya. Hi, everyone. I'm Zoe from the Microsoft 365 Copilot team. And like all of you, although with a little less traffic, I start my day commuting in and preparing for the day ahead. For that, I use Copilot on my mobile. Hey, Copilot, what's on my agenda for today?
You've got a few things lined up today. First, there's an AI Tour India meeting that started earlier this morning. Then at 11 a.m., there's a Contoso sales call. Later in the afternoon, you've got a Teen Sync at 2 p.m.
Thanks, Copilot. And do I have any emails from my manager?
Yes, you've got a few emails from Nicole. Just yesterday, she reminded the team about a Friday mixer happening in the common area. She also mentioned that finalizing the monthly business review should be a high priority. She also shared news about an...
Thanks, Copilot. Now, Copilot, it doesn't just have my work data. It understands who I am, what I work on, and who I work for. It's why I use Copilot. It's my AI assistant. Now, I want to dig deeper into the ask from my manager to get an update on our monthly business review. So I'm going to ask Copilot to pull that together for me. Because Copilot has all the right context, it can provide me with a real-time and very easy understanding of what I need to accomplish so I can quickly get caught up, like the current status and key decisions I need to make. Now that I feel caught up on what I need to do, I want to go and update my monthly business review template and ask it to update this existing doc with our November data while still maintaining the exact framework. For that, I'm going to use agent mode. Agent mode in Word allows the agent to edit, format, and draft directly onto the left-hand side. Now, it still keeps me in complete control, but it takes a lot of tediousness off my plate. I can start to see it's looking across all of my work context, my emails, my meetings, my team chats, my files. Now that sort of thing used to take me hours to accomplish. I have to find the information, make sure it's the right thing, copy and paste it into this template. Well, I'm going to show you how the agent can take all of that tediousness off my plate and actually bring it onto the left-hand side myself, while still respecting the format on the left. And I can see it's already starting to do that, highlighting it in blue, all of the changes it is making as it runs through. I could also do things like bold or change all the font to green, but I can see it's quickly working its way through my whole document. Again, maintaining the same format, just like if it was a scorecard, but updating and adjusting it. but also maintaining some things the same, like the mission and objective. It skipped that. There's no change month to month. Next, I want to show you how I can deal with my team budget and understand my marketing activities for the next fiscal year. Again, I'm going to use Agent Mode, and I'm going to ask it to help me better understand our fiscal year 25 marketing spend. What's committed, what's planned, what's at risk, and to build it in a visual dashboard so it's easier for me to understand. Now, just like Agent Mode in Word, Agent Mode in Excel will natively speak Excel on the left-hand side and start pulling together not just numbers, but actual formulas, native charts and tables, things so I can actually understand what Agent is doing inside of my worksheet. And the whole time, it explains on the right-hand side what it's accomplishing, like setting up the dashboard and what it needs to do. That way, if my manager, Nicole, comes to me and says, "How did you get to this answer?" I'm able to walk step by step of what the agent did. Now again, this used to take me hours to accomplish, especially just trying to get an overall insight, as Satya said, on some of my data. But here, Agent Mode lets me stay in the same place my data already is, but continue to work with it while building it, and pulling all of this kind of messy data into a simple way that I can further understand. Agent Mode in Excel, it also can do simple things like conditional formatting. So if I just want to highlight in red all the at-risk metrics, it can do that. And right before our eyes, in just a minute or so, it's built me an entire marketing dashboard. If I click in, I can see the complex formulas it's used and that conditional formatting to highlight things that are at risk or committed. It even shows that it's created a table, which again is completely native to Excel. I can edit and adjust it as needed. Now, Copilot, it's not just made me faster at my job, but it's actually helped me be more impactful. And I can't imagine working without it. Back to you, Satya.
Thank you, Zoe. Thank you so much. It's exciting to see the progress. I believe there's something I was using last night that I'm supposedly not supposed to talk about it, but tomorrow we'll talk more about it. There'll be a new model drop as well, which will take that entire experience to the next level. So now that you have a bit of this experience layer, the access to agent mode, and not only with the agents we have built, I mean, the thing that I'm most excited about is any one of your agents will be discovered in the context of those canvases, right? That's, to me, what's going to be very, very exciting and game-changing. The next layer down from it is what I think of as the IQ factory layer, right? So when we say context engineering, which, by the way, is one of the most important engineering considerations, which is if you have the experience, you have your agents, then feeding it the actual contextual data, which is relevant, is going to be very, very important. And in that context, the best bootstrap is perhaps the most important database that is there in any organization, which is the database underneath something like Microsoft 365, right? You can bootstrap the context with the people, their relationships with other people, their relationships to their work artifacts, whether they're in OneDrive or in SharePoint, their projects, their teams, meetings, and conversations, all email, everything brought together as Work IQ. Then take the other piece, which is everybody is using Power BI. And in fact, if you look at Fabric not only has all of the Power BI data, it has, in fact, operational data today. It has analytic data. It has real-time data. It has time series data. So Fabric has all of this. But most importantly, Power BI has bootstrapped the semantic layer, right? So it's just not the data, but it has the semantics around the data.